What is up everyone, and welcome to some more F1 23 My Team Career Mode. Last time out, we were at the Austrian Grand Prix, and after what was a pretty decent qualifying, we weren't too high up, but we were top 8. We managed to convert it into another solid points finish. P5, it should have been P3 really, but unfortunately a red flag glitch stopped us from progressing any further up the order, and yes, we were classified P5, so we only took 10 points away from it. So our first true podium is still going to have to wait a little bit longer, but I guess you could argue that we did get a podium finish. We've had more aero upgrades. We're really steaming ahead on these aero upgrades now, which is starting to be pretty good, and we've got a few more that we can do, but we can't afford to do both of them at the time being. So we're going to have to wait a little while longer before we can get any more of these ones on the car. We're going to have to wait for more upgrades to finish and more resource points to come in to the team. And yes, there's a journalist who's going to write an article, a hit piece on us, and we can either accept it or decline to respond. And yeah, I'm going to decline to respond. I'd rather that our acclaim took a hit than our resource points, because development of the car is absolutely essential, and I don't want to set us back 500 resource points to just save a little bit of acclaim. If we're going to be losing some acclaim anyway, we might as well go the whole way. We can regain that acclaim, I'm sure, as time goes on. Maybe if we win this rivalry against Pierre Gasly, our current rival, then maybe we'll be able to gain some acclaim off the back of that. But yeah, anyway, we are going to be at the British Grand Prix this weekend, and for those of you who haven't watched any of my previous F1 22 videos, you may not know that I always referred to this place as one of my favorite tracks on the entire calendar, and it wasn't even close, quite frankly. This calendar, or this track on the calendar, is so amazing. I go so well here usually. I have so much more pace here than other tracks, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if we've gone from getting that sort of pseudo podium in Austria to getting an actual podium here, barring any red flag shenanigans. I think we have the potential. I like to believe in myself around here, and I think we have the possibility to do very, very well. However, practice doesn't quite go according to that script, and we're not even in the top 14 here. We did do our run on the mediums, but look at the number of people who set their fastest time on the hards, and it was faster than mine. Even the likes of sort of Piastri and Ocon and Alonso, those guys, we were all the way down in P19, I think it was. Even Enzo Fittipaldi was ahead of us, which doesn't happen particularly often in practice. So yeah, a little bit of a surprise there coming out from our teammate. And yeah, now we are going to be getting into the qualifying session. As always, we have a sponsorship target we have to meet, and that is qualifying 15th or higher. If we qualify any lower than that, then we will lose out on some potential income, and believe me, we don't want that, because all the money in the world counts right now. We want to re-sign Enzo for at least the second half of the season. Contract negotiations coming up very, very soon, and yeah, we need the cash to be able to re-sign him. And also, obviously, I need to get a bunch more facility upgrades done. We have no idea what's in store for the future if we don't get those done. So yeah, we move into qualifying now. It's a 1:27.1 to kick things off, and that's actually the second fastest time, ahead of at least Verstappen and both of the Mercedes for the time being. And we confidently go around on that same set of tyres once again, knowing that we're going to make it through to Q2 no matter what happens. And yeah, we end up P3 in the session, so pretty amazing stuff coming out there. And that sees us very comfortably through to Q2. And if we can showcase that kind of pace in Q2, then maybe we could even find our way into Q3 as well. So yeah, we're very comfortably third, a couple tenths ahead of Sergio Perez there, and ahead of both the Mercedes, Verstappen, the Aston Martins, just about anyone that you would expect. We are ahead of. I think the other two cars that got through are the Hasses, so it's both Williams, both AlphaTauris, Joe, and my teammate Fittipaldi eliminated. I didn't scroll down because I forgot. But yeah, I think Fittipaldi was P21 if I remember correctly. So yeah, we're now through to Q2, and we're a little bit off Hamilton, who did a 1:26.3. to kick things off, and we've done a 1:26.9. However, I still think that will probably be good enough to see us through, and indeed you can see that as we round the final couple of corners with the last car across the line once again, we're on a new used set once again, and yeah, we're through in P4. So it's been P3 and P4. So that bodes pretty well for us. It seems like we're going to get maybe at least top 5 in qualifying here, if I had to guess. But you know, anything can happen. Maybe things will be more difficult. Valtteri Bottas actually made it through to Q2, so very impressive stuff from him. And meanwhile, the eliminations are Piastri, Stroll, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ocon, and Magnussen. So both Hasses, both Alpines, and then a McLaren and Aston Martin. Meanwhile, Alonso and Norris making it through while their teammates got eliminated. Bottas and myself, obviously, our teammates eliminated in Q1. So yeah, very impressive stuff from Bottas there to be making it through to Q3 in an Alfa Romeo. However, I expect he'll probably get absolutely trounced by everyone. It's actually starting to rain now. However, the grip has held up on the track, which is nice, because God knows I would not want my qualifying lap to be completely screwed by the fact that it was starting to rain. I think the grip is starting to wear away a little bit, but I think we've avoided the worst of the rain, which is still yet to come. As we cross the line, it's a 1:27.0, which is 3/10 off of Charles Leclerc, and puts us into P3. And, well, actually, that is going to be where we qualify, because it continued raining, and the track actually got wet. No one else went out again, apart from George Russell, who you can see struggled. And, yeah, we were 0.003 of a second off of P2 as well. So I'm really thinking that there could have been a P2 in me there. And we could have been starting on the front row of the grid for the first time. This will be our second trip to the second row of the grid, because we were there in Spain as well in P4 when we qualified P4, which was one of the most amazing things that I think I've done. But, I mean, on this occasion, yeah, P3, even better. This is our strongest qualifying to date. I do wonder maybe if I'd gone out slightly earlier when it wasn't raining. Perhaps I even had a pole position in me there. You know, we did a 1:26.7 in Q2, so maybe it would have been possible. But, I mean, I'm pretty content with that. Regardless of what happens now, you would have to say that that is a very strong qualifying and one that I should be satisfied with, regardless of what happens in the race. As long as I can pick up at least a few points, I'll be pretty happy. I think we'll probably fall down the order. You know I said I could be a contender for a podium here, but I guess we'll see what happens as we get into the British Grand Prix.
Britain is one of only 2 countries to have held a Grand Prix in every year of the Formula One World Championship. Long may it continue. It is a circuit of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone, it's the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Max Verstappen, who will start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Robinson, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Bottas, Russell, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Magnussen, Sargent, Joe, Albon, Tsunoda, Fittipaldi, Tsunoda. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
They have nothing to say on this occasion, so I guess I'm filling for time, but probably not for very long, because when they don't have anything to say, it ends pretty quickly.
We're still in with a chance of winning this title. We need you to push as hard as you can in the 5 remaining races.
What is he talking about? What? In with a chance of the title? 5 races? What? 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 What, Mark? What are you on about? I have no idea. Anyway, let's move into the formation lap now, and we'll see if we can get the tyre in the operating window, and hopefully we'll be able to get away and get away well. Maybe we can even jump Verstappen off the start, perhaps. As long as we can defend from Hamilton off the start, they'll be pretty happy, you know. This far up the grid, these cars do tend to get pretty good starts. It's only further down that they get really piss-poor starts. So I think we're going to have our work cut out for us now as the lights come on. And the lights go out, and we've gotten away well, not only compared to Verstappen, but also compared to Charles Leclerc. And off the line, we have taken the lead of the British Grand Prix for the first time in my F1 career. I am leading a Formula 1 race, and we are coming instantly under pressure from Charles Leclerc once again. However, we managed to hold him off around the outside, which switches to the inside for the following corner. And as we come onto the straight now, we are going to be leading our first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. I cannot believe that this is how this race is unfolded. This was so not what I was expecting whatsoever. And I mean, I'm feeling pretty nervous right now. You can see I'm already coming under pressure from Lewis Hamilton as we come into Luffield. And yeah, he's going to sweep around the outside of me. And I think he's actually already going to be taking the lead of the Grand Prix off me. So even though I was only leading for about a sector, I will still happily take that any day of the week. We go through Stowe now, and we go on the outside of Leclerc, and that allows him through. And now we're coming under pressure from Verstappen as we come into Maggots and Beckett's. And by the time we get there, I have to get out of the move. Otherwise, we're going to have a crash. And I've already fallen off the podium in the space of the next sector. First sector, I was in first. Second sector, I'm in fourth. And we're coming under pressure from Carlos Sainz from behind now. He's going to try and go around the outside of us at Stowe. I think I said Stowe earlier when I meant Copse. But anyway, this is Stowe, and yeah, Sainz has overtaken us as well. So we've fallen all the way down to P5 off the start of this Grand Prix, which is, you know, very disappointing. We're trying to come back at Sainz, but he's on those soft compound tyres. I think he's a little bit too pacey for us at the time being, and yeah, we're going to be coming under pressure now, I imagine, from even more cars. This is it's been one hell of a start. Very chaotic, lots of cars around us. We think about going for a move there on Carlos Sainz, but he defends it, and yeah, we're going to be staying in P5 for the time being. I don't think we'll be able to stay with him for too long, and I wouldn't be surprised if we start coming under pressure from the cars behind as well, burning the battery. And as we move a little bit further through the lap, through Copse, you can see now I've actually gone over the track, and that is a track limits warning, so I need to be careful or I'm going to get a penalty. And Norris, by the time we get through Maggots and Beckett's, he has managed to get past me as well. These cars extremely far ahead of us in the development race. And I mean, the fact that I got P3 was a mega shock, and I definitely didn't expect to hold on to it. But perhaps I expected I'd be able to put up a bit more of a fight than this, as Sergio Perez gets ahead of me as well. And yeah, we're gonna be coming under even more pressure from George Russell and Fernando Alonso behind. It just seems like it's a constant stream of cars coming in to put pressure on us at this point. And I mean, where does it end? You can see that the train at the moment falls all the way back to basically the back of the grid. But yeah, we go wide once again. We don't get a track limits warning this time, which is good, because we definitely don't want a penalty. Otherwise, that's really going to mess around with us. But we do get overtaken by Russell into Maggots and Beckett's again. I guess my run through Copse there is just pretty slow. I guess maybe I'm just lacking the downforce compared to everyone else. This time we managed to stay ahead of Alonso through Maggots and Beckett's. However, he's going to have the DRS, and I am out of DRS range to Perez ahead now, as Russell has overtaken both Norris and Perez, so he's having a very strong race. But yeah, here comes Fernando Alonso, and with the DRS, it's not even a competition. He's going to be overtaking me as well. And yeah, I mean, I've fallen all the way in a matter of 5 laps from P1 to P9. So yeah, not really what I was hoping was going to happen here. And we're coming under pressure now from his Aston Martin teammate, Lance Stroll, as well. So at the rate we're going, we're not even going to score any points if this continues. This is an incredibly depressing way to race in Formula 1. You know, these kind of things do happen. You see someone get a freakishly good qualifying and then slip down the order. At least it's not the same way that it happened to Lando Norris in Spain when he qualified third and just went backwards off the start line, basically. I feel like I don't know, I really would have been expecting us to have a little bit more pace than this, but I guess not, as we have now been overtaken by Lance Stroll as well. And I just want a little bit of something to remain constant for a little bit in this race, at least for a few laps or so. My wish eventually was granted, because nothing really happened for the next few laps until lap 9, but we have managed to stay with Lance Stroll. I guess his soft compound tyres are starting to go off a little bit, which, you know, it makes sense. He's been on them for almost 10 laps. I think he's not too far away from his box lap, and that allows us to get a bit of a run on him out of, I can't remember the name of the corner, man, But as we get into Stowe, we're ahead of him again. What's the one after Maggots and Beckett's? I can never remember the name of. But yeah, we find our way into P8 once again, and yeah, we're going to see if we can hold on to this. At least until the pit stop phase, which is starting to begin now. As you can see, we've got a Mercedes, a Ferrari, and Stroll all coming into the pits. So that's going to promote us up a few places. Yeah, Stroll, Sainz, and Hamilton all in. So Hamilton pitting from the lead of the Grand Prix. And he's going to be, you know, very happy with the position that he finds himself in. I think Russell must have already pitted as well, by the looks of things. So yeah, potentially Mercedes on for a 1-2 here. Don't jinx it, you know, but could be speaking it into existence. We're running in P6, but obviously we haven't stopped yet. And yeah, as we make our way through lap 12, we are going to be coming into the pits as well. And we're going to be sticking on the hard compound tyres, not a moment too soon. If you look down in the bottom right, you can see that there's the tyre icon, the orange tyre icon flashing to show us that we are over 60% worn on at least one of the tyres. Which makes sense, you know, because I've been pushing the tyres pretty hard. Now, it's actually probably my biggest concern of the weekend was the tyre wear, because I was running at a tyre wear factor in the practice programs of about 1.2 times. But there is a pit stop issue, and that has cost us, what, 1.7 extra seconds? And, I mean, let's have a look at what the gap to Lance Stroll is going to be, as Lando Norris is out of the session. We'll see what happened to him in just a moment's time. But let us see what is going on. Where are we going to come out related to Lance Stroll? He's going to be ahead of us. How far ahead is he going to be? It's about 1.7 seconds. So we would have been wheel to wheel. I was expecting a little bit of an undercut because he did stop a lap earlier than us. But yeah, this is incredibly disappointing. And now we're going to have to see if we can do anything to catch up with him. We're on the same Actually, no, he's on the mediums. A lot of people on the mediums now. This is what happened to Lance Stroll. Not Lance Stroll, Lando Norris in the McLaren. He looks like he's got a big hole in the side of his front wing there. Can you see that? Very weird stuff there, but it looks like some kind of mechanical failure. Don't know if it's related to that damage. Maybe they broke the steering or something like that with some contact. But in any case, yeah, Lando Norris out of the Grand Prix. We move now on to lap 17, and you can see that after just a few laps, I've fallen massively away from Alonso and Stroll, and it's actually Hülkenberg and Gasly putting pressure on me. And we're going to be fighting over the last couple of points-paying positions. One of us is going to lose out, and we'll see who it's going to be. Meanwhile, a little bit further afield, you can see that Piastri and Ocon are battling over P12, and if there's too much of a battle going on here between myself, Hülkenberg and Gasly, that could allow those two guys into the fight as well. Oscar Piastri, of course, McLaren's only hopes with Lando Norris out of this race now, so they're going to have to hope that he can close this gap. But I tell you who definitely is closing the gap. Nico Hülkenberg and Pierre Gasly, those guys are closing the gap on me, and they're both going to have DRS on this occasion. So this could be a double overtake for them potentially. We'll see what's going to happen here as we come on the run up to Stowe. I'm going to be in the middle of both of them. It's Gasly on the inside, Hülkenberg on the outside. Hülkenberg gets squeezed out. Oh no, never mind. It's Gasly gets squeezed out, and Hülkenberg is through into P9. They were on the opposite side to where I said they were. It was Hülkenberg on the inside, and he overtakes me on the inside of Stowe, and he finds his way up into P9. However, as we move through lap 21 and we come through Maggots and Beckett's now, you can see that I am right on his tail, and if I get some DRS here, I don't have very much battery, but maybe I'll be able to get back past him. We're under pressure from Pierre Gasly as well, and they say apparently it's about to rain as well, which might add another dimension to this race as well. We get back past Hülkenberg for the time being. Gasly does not make any moves, and yeah, we have found our way back into P9, and we are going to have a real fight on our hands for these last 5 laps to hold on to this position. We'll see if we're going to be capable of doing it, but I think it's going to be a real push in order to keep hold of even 1 point here, never mind the 2 that we're currently on for, as I'm going to be coming under a lot of pressure from Hülkenberg and Gasly for the next 5 laps. You know, these guys are in faster machinery. They are very talented drivers, the both of them. I have a lot of respect. I'd say that, honestly, in real life, these guys are some of my favorite drivers on the grid. There's a reason why I'm such a big fan of Haas, and I'd say that Alpine are another team I really, really like. And on this occasion, yes, it is both of them going through on me, and we have fallen out of this points-paying position. Piastri 2.3 seconds afield as well now, so we're gonna have to try and hold on to what we can get. Maybe see if we can stay in DRS range of these guys in front to at least try and reclaim 1 point off of one of them, as Hulkenberg and Gasly are going wheel to wheel through Maggots and Beckett's. This is going to hold them up a treat, and this is going to invite me into the fight for the straight, and we'll see if we're going to be able to get ahead of either of them. Hulkenberg with no DRS, he's a bit of a sitting duck in the straight line. Can we put pressure on Gasly up the inside of Stowe as well? We go wheel to wheel with him, but it's just not quite enough, and he manages to hold on to the position for the time being. But maybe we can make an overtake on him. As you can see as well, it is starting to rain, the first few drops falling on the circuit now as well. So yeah, we have a lot to think about in these last 3 laps. Move on to lap 25 now, and I'm just not quite close enough to Gasly on this occasion, and I think he might be able to hold on to this. We do have the DRS still, it's not been disabled just yet, despite the fact that the track is getting pretty slippery, and we go out a little bit wide there, and we almost miss the Vale chicane actually. We go very deep. It's a big mistake from me, and that has got me out of DRS range of Pierre Gasly, which means for this final lap, I'm going to be under so much pressure here from Nico Hulkenberg. It's going to be absolutely unreal, and we might lose out on this final points-paying position if I'm not careful. We're going to have to really defend with all of our worth if we're going to be able to hold on to this. Nico Hulkenberg thinking about maybe going for a move up the inside at Stowe. Now he's trying to go for a move around the outside at Maggots and Beckett's. I do not want to lose this. We're going wheel to wheel like he did with Gasly just a few laps ago. We managed to hold on to the position for the time being. Gasly getting further away. I am going to be dropping points to him in the rivalry, but will I be picking up any points in the championship today? Nico Hulkenberg closing me down, pulling alongside, but is he going to be close enough? We've burnt all our battery. I think he has too, because he wasn't closing me down by very much. We've held on to it. Can we hold on into the Vale chicane? Is he going to pile any more pressure on me? No, he's not. The only thing that he can do now is try and out-drag me to the line. Will he be able to do it? We're rounding the final few corners now, and as we round the final corner to cross the line, we're going to hold on to P10, and that was the hardest fought point of my F1 23 career so far. Goodness me. I am losing my voice, something fierce after that. George Russell, driver of the day. It was an incredible comeback from him, and wow, what a Grand Prix.
Plenty of action then here in Silverstone, a memorable race and an impressive victory. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, they certainly stood out as a drive with tons of confidence on the track. I think their ability to keep their cool, even during some of the more hectic parts of the race, meant they were able to capitalise on the mistakes of other drivers, giving them the opportunity to make their way to the top spot with ease.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
An impressive performance coming out from Lewis Hamilton, who makes his way into first place. Charles Leclerc, having started on pole, doesn't even finish on the podium. It is Verstappen and Sainz who complete the rostrum with Hamilton there. And yeah, there seems to be something in the water for people winning their home races. Obviously, it was Sainz in Spain, and now Hamilton in Britain. I think Leclerc won in Monaco as well, if I remember correctly. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for Mexico and the Netherlands later on.
Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings.
This result then narrows the gap between our championship leader and the rest of the standings.
Let's focus on driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
Max Verstappen seemed to just effortlessly weave through the other drivers today without a care in the world. He was definitely my driver of choice.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders, who lose ground at the top of the table. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
And what an exciting race it was. We found our way up into P1 at one point, but in the end we only took away 1 point from that race as we came P10 behind Pierre Gasly, our rival. And I mean, look at the gap in the championship already. I think P7 is going to be the maximum we're going to be able to extract on this occasion. Here's my amazing start once again as I found my way in between Verstappen and Leclerc, and yeah, I mean, I just I couldn't quite believe what was happening on that occasion. I know it was short-lived, but I still just was absolutely amazed by the level of performance we showed off the start there. If we can upgrade the car further, then no doubt we'll be competing with these guys seriously in a very short amount of time. But yeah, we've got a little bit to do before that. We've got a little bit of work, a lot of development, and I mean, look, the aero package absolutely shining. We've done a number of upgrades to it already. I think we're one of the strongest teams as far as aero is concerned on the entire Formula 1 grid, if not the strongest. So that explains why we were so good through some of the high-speed corners around here. But even so, it wasn't quite enough through the likes of Copse. In particular, you could see I was losing a lot of time to the cars behind. Maybe I just need to be braver. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't it was my fault and not the car's fault. I don't know. In any case, you know, we are already at the halfway point of the season. In the next video, we will be doing the contract renegotiations, and I am hoping that Enzo Fittipaldi will want to re-sign for my team. I've got some ideas of who I want on the team. If not, you guys may know that Fittipaldi was not my first choice. I was hoping that we would be able to get Dennis Hauger onto the team, but unfortunately he was not. It was not an option at the beginning. So yeah, if we do fail to re-sign Fittipaldi, I'll probably punt for Hauger, because I think he's a great guy with a lot of potential. He definitely could be Formula 1 material in the future. And yeah, we'll see. But I mean, I haven't recorded that video or anything yet, so I don't know what's going to happen with that. There's a spoiler-free zone. I just thought that I would throw that out there as a possibility, because we saw it happen a lot, especially during my first 2 seasons in F1 22, my team career mode. We went through 4 different teammates during that time period, just because of how you know, how little interest the drivers had racing for me for more than half a season when they realised how crap the car was. And I mean, we had a piece of information coming into this race that despite the fact we had that big aero upgrade, we still were going to be the weakest team on the grid coming into this Grand Prix weekend. So I think, just given that fact, given that we were the worst car on the grid today, I don't think we did too badly. P3 in qualifying and P10 in the race, you know, I've got to just take these small victories, you know. We're consistently finishing in the points. At this point, you know, it's been, what, 5 points finishes in the last 6 races. So I can't be too beat up about that. Actually, no, is it 6 of the last 7? I'm losing track at this point. I know we had one in Miami, and then the only time we haven't finished in the points since then is Monaco. So I think that is 6 of the last 7 races that we've scored points in. So yeah, we're looking pretty strong for a team in their first season of Formula 1. You know what I mean? I need to manage my expectations a little bit, clearly, because I'm getting a little bit carried away with myself here. And I mean, yeah, that is pretty much all that is going to be for this video. If you enjoyed, please make sure you like and subscribe, and check out my giveaway. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one.